Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Warner. Welcome to the first ever Top Rope Radio Raw reaction video. Now, what is Top Rope Radio? That is my new podcast coming out once a week. We are going to have, let's look on the handy dandy flyer. We have weekly podcasts with guest co-host, interviews with current and former talent, show reaction videos, coverage of indie wrestling scene here in Kansas City, because that's where I am. Luchador El Hombre, Blanco Gordito. That's a surprise for you guys. We're going to have live events, giveaways, and more. Now this weekend, where am I going? I'm going to Nashville with former ECW champion Raven. Spend some time with him, go to a convention with him, and hopefully we'll have some stuff on this YouTube channel here at Top Rope Radio TV. Now, tonight on Raw, what did we have? We had Paul Heyman and CM Punk doing what they do best. We had Fandaaaannngoooo being a douche. Not really loving his character. We got Jericho versus Dolph Ziggler. We had Sheamus cutting promo. Mark Henry in a squash match, of course. Antonio Cesaro and Alberto Del Rio. We had Team Hell No versus the Primetime Players, or as I call them, the Titus O'Neil team, because I don't care about Darren Young at all. We had Triple H cutting a promo that was less than awesome. I didn't like it. He seems to be lacking lately. We had Wade Barrett versus The Miz. We had Kaitlyn, Kane, and Daniel cutting a promo. We had Justin Gabriel, Zakk, Ryder, and Khali versus The Shield, which was a crap match, unless you like to see people get destroyed. We had Chris Jericho versus Dolph Ziggler earlier, but we had an announcement match, or a match announcement for WrestleMania. We had Road Scholars versus Brodus and Sweet Tea. We had Ryback versus 3MB. We had AJ Kaitlyn. We had Rock and Cena QA session, and we had much more. Now, CM Punk versus Heyman, or CM Punk and Heyman. We had CM Punk and Heyman with the urn come out initially, and CM Punk did what he does best. He talks and talks and talks, and he's very good at it. He's best on the mic, my opinion, right now. What happened was he ended up doing this whole rest in peace thing after he talked about how he's not disrespecting Paul Bearer, he's disrespecting Undertaker because he knows that he cherishes this item. Ends up doing rest in peace, and then the lights go down. When they come back up, Undertaker is beating the piss out of CM Punk, drops the urn. Heyman waddles after it. I'm gonna say this segment was 5 out of 5 dropped urns. It's kind of what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rate little segments with neat, quirky things that are probably gonna be stupid. 5 out of 5 dropped urns. That's good for me. Now Fandaaaannngoooo, we think it's gonna be his initial in-ring debut. He has this fireworks frame. Made me originally question, is this the reason we've been waiting so long for him? Is for this fireworks frame. It popped and it was like him in his dance pose. It was stupid. I don't like him, and I don't like that they're prolonging this whole debut. I know they do it with other talent, but I don't want to wait for a guy that is our generation's Disco Inferno to come out. So he's in the ring, and Jericho like hauls ass out. He's not set to face Jericho, but Jericho runs out, starts beating the piss out of him. He is set for a match later on in the night with Dolph Ziggler. They say after Fandaaaannngoooo runs away, bring it on now. We have Jericho versus Ziggler to open the show. Y2J is great with the crowd. It's probably his Fozzy thing. He knows how to, get them amped up, which is awesome. Biggie Langston, as always, is a cocky son of a bitch. I see I kind of see this relationship as the white man leading the black man, which is completely racist, is not me, but it's just what they put out there. It's kind of like with the Teddy Long and the Laurinaitis stuff, but I'm pretty sure in this case that Biggie Langston is probably getting it on with the Master's wife. We'll see more as that goes on. I want, in the end, for there to be like a rivalry there. That would be incredible. Eventually, what happens is Jericho, he does the walls of Jericho on Dolph Ziggler, gets him out. Then Biggie Langston does what he does best and just destroys Jericho. In which case, Fandaaaannngoooo comes out, just keeps chanting, "Say my name, say my name," and it was getting really erotic and sexual in the ring. He was beating him, "Say my name, say my name." And then he climbs the top rope and does this like Hulk Hogan left drop off the top. I give that 3 out of 5 pirouettes, which It's fantastic. There was actually like this, you know, how they move their head so you can't see their lips moving. Well, he had the mic too close to Jericho, and he said something like, you missed your mark, or don't say a word, or something. If you guys heard it, throw it down below. Let me know what they said. So Sheamus cut a promo after showing what happened on SmackDown. They do this a lot. Like, I would say probably like a quarter of Raw is just recapping crap we already know. Sheamus is attacked by the Shield during his promo. Obviously, Orton comes out, and then Big Show comes out, and they all run. They're like cockroaches. I call this, I rated this 2 out of 5 Shield ambushes. This is not turning out to be my favorite Raw ever. Mark Henry comes out for a 2-on-1 handicap match. We know who's going to win. Mark Henry destroys the Usos. Apparently, the punishment for a DUI is getting your ass beat by Mark Henry. There were a few good moves on the Uso side. They ended up flooring Mark Henry with this cool tag combination, kick in the face type thing. Move of the match, Mark Henry took one of the Usos and literally like threw him like 15 feet off the ring into like the barricade. Very, very cool. I like Mark Henry as the big, like, I can't be touched guy. I give that 2 out of 5 DUIs. Antonio Cesaro versus Alberto Del Rio. Back and forth was going on. Then Coulter came out distracted while Swagger came around and beat up the ring announcer, Ricardo. And ends up Cesaro wins due to disqualification. It was a short filler match just to pull that whole rivalry, or push that whole rivalry. I give that 2 out of 5. Awesome Zeb Coulter mustaches. Works for me. Team Hell No versus Titus O'Neil. Pretty much. Team Hell No dominated. When they are on and they're getting along, they are a great team to watch. Daniel Bryan is a great technical wrestler. And it's a lot of fun to watch. The tag team division needs some work. I don't like it at the moment, but we'll see how it goes. We give this 3 out of 5 group hugs after Team Hell No, obviously heading into WrestleMania, needs to defeat them to push them. Triple H comes out and cuts a garbage promo. He talks about how he fights to keep his job all the time, even though he's a goddamn COO, something like that. He does the talent stuff on the back end. Tells Brock that he needs to fight like his job is on the line. He ends up getting out, and Wade Barrett's coming down, and he ends up kicking Wade Barrett in the balls. Now the promo gets 1 out of 5 wasted water bottles, while the nut shot, which everybody loves. It's painful for guys to watch, but we love seeing it happen. Gets 5 out of 5 nudeicles, which are fake testicles, to replace the one Wade Barrett's going to need. Because in the next match, we have Wade Barrett versus The Miz. He ends up getting his ball smacked again. Miz pulls down the rope, lets it go, and jabs him in the balls. We have just a back and forth. They're countering each other's finishes, and obviously the Miz is going to win with the figure 4 because they're really hard on for that right now, with Ric Flair being around and stuff like that, and him handing off the figure 4, even though literally anybody can do it. It's 2 out of 5 ice packs to hopefully make Wade Barrett's balls feel a little bit better. Next we had Kaitlyn, Kane, and Daniel Bryan in a backstage promo. Kaitlyn ends up calling AJ Lee crazy, which ends up having a match be formed between the two later on tonight. Now we had Justin Gabriel versus Zakk Ryder and Great Khali. Justin Gabriel, Zakk Ryder, and the Great Khali versus the Shield. Get it right. It was a squash match, obviously. Seth Rollins is my least favorite of the Shield, followed by Roman Reigns being my second favorite. He's the big guy, throws everybody around. I like that. And then Dean Ambrose is the Joker of the group. He's very psychological in what he says, and the way he delivers it, it reminds me of Heath Ledger as the Joker. They destroy him. Khali at the end makes a stand, but he can't. Sheamus, Orton, and Big Show end up surrounding the ring, and they all jump in, give him a little bit of their medicine. So the match, 1 out of 5 crippled, gentle Punjabi giants. And then the segment, 4 out of 5 secret heels. Because I'm convinced one of those guys is going to go heel. And I don't think it's the one we think. We think, oh, Big Show, bad guy, heel. He's going to turn on him. I don't think so. It's going to be Orton or Sheamus. It's going to happen. So, Chris Jericho's pissed. They announce one of the worst kept secrets. Chris Jericho versus Fandaaaannngoo at WrestleMania. Next, we have Rhodes Scholars versus Sweet Tea and Brodus Clay. Obviously, Brodus Clay and Sweet Tea, they lose. 2 out of 5 pulled out weaves because there was a cat fight outside between the Bella Twins and the Funkadactyls. They ended up distracting everybody in the ring, and Cody was able to pin Brodus. Next, we went into more G.I. Joe whoring. We're pushing G.I. Joe. We're pushing the Marine 3. We're pushing the calling, whatever it's called. Dead Man Down's getting pushed. They would try to sell sand to a man that lives in a desert, to quote an old person. So next we had Ryback versus 3MB, trying to get Ryback back up there. It seems like he's always been the guy they're trying to like push as the I can't lose, like the next Goldberg, but they made him start losing everything, and he's kind of lost his appeal, and people are kind of getting sick of him. Now tonight the crowd really loved him. He was really over the crowd. Feed me more chants, and he usually gets that. I have noticed that Heath is the weak gets linked in 3MB. He hasn't, I guess Jinder and we had Drew. They were actually doing some damage to Ryback, but every time Heath would get in, Ryback would just dominate. Verdict, Ryback after a double shell shock, and then we had 2 out of 5 broken guitar strings on that one. We got the news that Arnold is going to induct Bruno Sammartino into the Hall of Fame. Now, I know Bruno mentioned like 3 or 4 other people in an article that he thought would be able to induct them, but it ended up being like the Hollywood guy where they could leverage for viewership, which good on them, man. They're in it for money as much as we are in life. So let's go ahead and say AJ Lee and Kaitlyn was the worst match of the night. 1 out of 5 worthless diva matches on that one. Kaitlyn was counted out after AJ Lee crushed her against the barricade, like just destroyed her. Typical diva match, but there was a little crazy injected into this one, which was good. So the laughable moment of the night, Michael Cole called 2K Games a video game provider instead of a publisher, which honest mistake to make. I'm just in that world. I'm a developer, so I know the difference. And wrapping up the night was Rock and Cena QA session. Booker T, Mick Foley, Dusty Rhodes, Bret Hart. They came down and they had the table in the middle, and then they had 2 podiums. Jerry Lawler was like the moderator of the debate. Rock came out, Cena came out. Cena was not liked. The Rock was loved. There's a lot of nostalgia for him, and I like The Rock. But I don't think it should be a main event at WrestleMania if you're just going to come in, fight once, and then go away for a year or 2. Same goes for Brock and all of that. So we had 4 questions because there were 4 people. Foley asked, are you prepared to cope with the potential loss at WrestleMania to Cena, because Cena brought the whole I'm a man, I own up to my losses last year. Cena spits out his typical fluff stuff. I equate it to he's writing an essay in college, and he's got a certain amount of words he has to hit, and he always tries to go like double that. So it's too long. If you didn't listen, it'll be worth the risk, he said. Then The Rock had a story to tell, like he usually does. He told the story about how he got big and then he flopped. He could have quit, but he came back, and he's really good on the microphone if you like the way The Rock talks, which, I mean, you might. I do. I buy into it. Brett said it pained me that you guys had this rivalry. It was kind of like me and Sean, and it noticed it's changed since then. And why has it changed? Rock said because he manned up to his loss. There was no cheap shots. There was no screw job, and everything walked away. We had a good match. And Cena said same blah 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 stuff. He said, I called The Rock out and said he had to prove himself, said he loved the WWE, he needs to own up to that. So he came back and he dominated. So it was all on me. He took the blame on himself. Booker T said, you think you can beat The Rock, why? Cena said some bullshit like, I have to. It's it, because I have to. And The Rock pretty much said, yeah, it's bullshit, wipe a monkey's ass with it. That's what he said. Cena then replied, you didn't beat me, I beat me, and you know you couldn't beat me. And The Rock said, if you could have, you would have, pretty much. Dusty Rhodes said, you got to take them gloves off, guys. There's no respect. There's no redemptions. There's just Wrestlemania. So Cena said, I want to win the big one. He said, what do you guys want on the 7th? Cena said, I want to win. I want everybody to know I deserve to win. I want to dominate The Rock, and I want The Rock to admit I deserve to win, and that I'm better than him. And The Rock said, ask yourself, why you didn't get the job done, and then prove me wrong. And in fact, prove me wrong right now. So they both puffed up. Cena walked up to The Rock, threw the "you can't see me," and tried to get the attitude adjustment on him. Rock countered and did the rock bottom on him, which the crowd went nuts. And it was a good way to end the show. I didn't like the QA session. I thought it was gimmicky and hokey. I'm curious if they're going to flip Cena as a heel, because he's getting the short end of the stick and all this other crap. It'll be interesting to see what happens at WrestleMania. I don't think it's going to be one I buy. Well, I guess if I'm doing these, I should probably do that. I don't know. But yeah, so look forward to these. I'm going to be having a podcast coming out. If you guys have any feedback, pop it down below. I would like to hear, and I would like to share how you guys feel about it. How do you like tonight's Rock? How do you do tonight's Raw? How did you rate it? I'd probably call it 2.5 out of 5. I wouldn't rush home to watch it. I'd watch it on DVR. There's been a lot of really good ones in the past. I think there could still be some good Raws. They just need to stop recycling the same crap. I think like a quarter of it's just recycling. Like they'll show what happened that same night in previews, like throughout the rest of the night. So, guys, until next time, Warner, you guys are awesome. And check in next time. I'll see you guys later. Bye.